Welcome to the Healthcare Technology Report, a leading information source on healthcare technology companies and solutions. In this episode, we speak with Arpit Khemka, co-founder and CEO of SimpleTherapy. SimpleTherapy is an omnichannel care platform that combines digital programs, virtual services, and in-person provider access for musculoskeletal and behavioral health. Originally built to help patients choose physical therapy before surgery or opioids, the platform now supports employers with care delivery, injury prevention, and workplace risk insights through one integrated app. Arpit co-founded SimpleTherapy after a career building enterprise technology systems. Working with orthopedic surgeons and physical therapists, he helped develop the company's first algorithm for knee pain, and later expanded the platform into a broader clinical-grade solution for employers, health plans, and workforce populations. I'm your host, RJ Lumba. We hope you enjoy the show. If you like the episode, click to follow. Arpit, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. It's a delight to be with you.
Thank you so much, RJ. Really appreciate you giving us the opportunity. We've heard a lot about healthcare technology reports, so pleasure to be here.
Let's start off with SimpleTherapy and what it does. That'll help set the stage because you offer a variety of solutions. So maybe we'll start there.
Yeah. Well, thank you again. My name is Arpit Khemka, co-founder CEO of SimpleTherapy. Well, SimpleTherapy started as a digital musculoskeletal solution back in 2010, and the genesis was from the need of the orthopedic surgeon. So we wanted to build a solution that helps orthopedic surgeon steer patients more towards physical therapy rather than an orthopedic surgery, because they found that the patients were asking for opioids, asking for surgeries, asking for imaging. And we found that they're not seeing the value in the physical therapy itself. So we set out to create a solution which can actually deliver care, because physical therapy in itself was a black box. And so we set out to build a solution that can actually deliver care at home and be more efficacious and safe in the process. So we were one of the first ones to deliver the randomized control trial on a digital musculoskeletal platform. So that was the genesis. We became the first digital front door, if you will, for physical therapy. And then we started commercializing the product, and we started realizing that there is a need for us to go in-person care as well. So in 2022, we acquired a couple of companies, Physmetrics and Halcyon, to expand our care from just digital and virtual physical therapy care to in-person care. So now we can deliver in-person PT, OT, speech, chiro, acu, and then also on the behavioral health side, we can do MHSUD carve-outs, we can do EAP, and then we also added a well-being solution. So now if you zoom out, SimpleTherapy is an omni-channel care delivery platform for musculoskeletal and behavioral healthcare platform. And then very recently in December last year, we also acquired another company from Canada called 3Motion AI to go further upstream on the risk side. Now we can use computer vision to actually detect the postural risk right at the heart of the employer itself. Because benefits team are trying to fix the musculoskeletal solution cost care at the reactionary level when it has already occurred. Whereas on the EHS side, employee health and safety side, they're detecting the risk. So we acquired that solution and went upstream. So where our MSK solution can detect the postural risk right at the operational level and fix it even before it happens. So that's how now SimpleTherapy is structured. We have these 4 pillars, if you will, of SimpleTherapy delivering the care of the employer.
And which part of that is the highest volume? Is it the MSK part? Like, where do you see the most use?
It's absolutely the MSK part. And now we are seeing a lot of traction happening on the risk and injury prevention side as well. I mean, big employers like SpaceX, Caterpillar, to name a few, are already using our solution, like Charter Communications. These are some of our clients that are absolutely loving the solution that we have deployed on the injury prevention side and the MSK side. We also have a lot of business on the behavioral health side because of the ability for us to integrate these solutions into one single platform, one app. Traditionally, the problem with the employers is that they have to deploy about 4 or 5 different platforms just to deliver what we are delivering. With SimpleTherapy, there's just one platform.
And so how would it work for employee health and safety? Do new employees get training before they start work, or do they get continuing education throughout their tenure with the company?
They get continuing education, and plus they all have safety teams. Usually there is a safety manager or an officer. And because of the compliance checks, they are already required to perform some sort of assessments. And so these are some of the protocols that they are able to do. So with our technology, they just are able to scan the worker while they're in the field working, and then live on the camera, our overlay video generates an AI model that tells them exactly what's wrong with their posture, produces the whole risk report for them, which then allows them to complete their compliance checks. So it allows them to finish their job, which would have taken an ergonomist about 2 hours to complete. In our case, it can be done in 2 to 3 minutes. So that's one part of the job. And now that same data is also producing the MSK intelligence for the employer, which tells them where exactly is their MSK risk. And so
Mhm.
we can create custom injury prevention programs for the employer, which then educates the employee or the worker that these are the corrections in my posture. These are the corrections that I need to do in my form and function or the exercises so that I can prevent the injury from happening. So that's more on the preventative side. And then on the reactive side is, let's say you have back pain, you just download the Simple Therapy app and you come into the program, and then you get introduced to a physical therapist within your state. And then we create a customized care plan for you. We ask you to perform a virtual video assessment. It's a full 40-minute evaluation with a licensed PT, and then we create the whole care plan for you.
Do you need a doctor in there, or the PT is sufficient to assess any potential issues?
We have doctors of physical therapy which are licensed in state, and they absolutely are capable of doing that. We do have a clinical escalation ladder. So we have coaches which are trained in musculoskeletal care. We have doctors of PT. We have chiropractors. We have orthopedic surgeons, and then we have a CMO. And then we also have a behavioral counselor in the mix. So we have this hierarchy of the clinical ladder. And so depending on the situation, our clinical team brings in the associated or the needful clinician in the process to help you, whether it's with behavioral health issues. If you have any anxiety or depression, we can bring that clinician in. Or if we need to steer you towards an in-person care, an orthopedic doc can jump into your care team and then devise a care plan for you, or steer you for imaging, or steer you for in-person care as well.
Are there other solutions on the market that do something similar? And if so, how is Simple Therapy able to win clients and retain those clients?
That's a great question. And this is the movement where a lot of AI buzz is happening, and a lot of solutions will say that we do this, we do that. I think what really differentiates us is the ability to deliver a clinical grade solution. Like I said a little bit earlier, our genesis is very clinical, right? Started by orthopedic surgeons, PTs, chiropractors, and myself. So we know how important the clinical grade solution is. So we're not focusing just on how many times you have logged in, or how much you're engaging, or have you read any articles. It's actually creating a custom care plan for you. The other piece is the computer vision tech. A lot of solutions will say we have computer vision tech, but ours is a 3D neural net engine. It's a patented technology. So it produces 97% accuracy from a motion capture lab. So any 2D video coming out of any camera converts it into a 3D movement data, which then given to the physical therapist, which establishes the baseline. And now we are able to produce a care plan for you. And now that therapist is with you throughout the journey. Whereas in other solutions, you will probably never meet a PT, or maybe once at first. And there's no way that you're going to meet PT anytime soon. It's just virtual chat. In our case, you can do unlimited virtual PT sessions with a licensed PT through our platform. And then they're constantly evaluating and upgrading your plan. And then our AI is personalizing, impacting the intensity. It tailors the pacing in real time. So it's not designing the care plan, but it's following the guardrails, the clinical guardrails established by the clinician, and then pushes you forward like in a real clinical setting. And that's what establishes a true clinical grade model that Simple Therapy has.
Who's your ideal customer? Is that like a medium-sized corporation, large-sized corporation?
That's a great question. And we get this question every single time. And we say this, that our smallest client is 6 employees and the largest client is 600,000 lives. So we go very broad, and the reason behind this is very simple, and it's in our name. We want this technology to be accessible to every size employer. Right now, an average solution, which is out there in the market, is costing 4x of what we charge. And so they're only for the premium clients. When you go to a small, medium business segment, which is where majority of the US population is, 86% of the employee base is coming out of small, medium-sized employers. So we really cater to that segment with very strong clinical solution and provide really strong ROI so that it doesn't impact their bottom line. In fact, they feel happy in delivering a world-class solution to their employees.
And now, what's the distinction with your well-being solution?
Well, well-being, to be honest, is the smallest revenue segment in our platform, but it's really, again, trying to help the small size employers where they have 6 different platforms and they're trying to consolidate. So it's really bringing that wellness segment. So we have certified coaches, we can do smoking cessation program, diabetes program, exercise, nutrition, you name it. All the bells and whistles that a typical well-being program has, we have that. And it's all in one single app. We call it as one app. So you log in, you buy, let's say, well-being and MSK and in-person care from us. All those 3 products will be enabled in the app. So the patient, when the member logs in, they'll immediately see those benefits. They'll have their own card of Simple Therapy with defined, what are the deductibles, co-pays, whatnot. And then we can deliver the care with one seamless care team and a whole solution at one place.
Mm-hmm. Can you give us a sense for the scale of the company currently? And you can use whatever metrics you're comfortable sharing.
Yeah, I won't be able to share the revenue numbers, but recently we were named in Inc. 5000, one of the fastest growing companies in America. We were named 1,234, 1234 ranked. So we are growing really aggressively. We have more than 1,000 plus clients. We have Fortune 50, Fortune 100 clients, and we are also the recipient of Swiss Re's Entrepreneurship and Resilience Award. And so we have clients across the globe. We operate in Middle East, we operate in Canada and Mexico. So we have clients in various segments. So I hope that helps. And we have employees across the globe as well.
What's currently your biggest challenge in scaling the company?
The biggest challenge right now is there's so much movement happening in AI and there's just so much noise happening in AI. So how to responsibly deliver the clinical grade solution, without staying away from AI. So we are setting up a lot of internal pieces on how are we going to deploy an AI within our product lines. And maybe it's not just touching the patient, but at least on our operations side. So that's where the challenge is because there's a lot of opportunity to improve the operational cost so that we can improve our bottom line. And then also improve how quickly we are able to respond to our customers, not just from an account management perspective, but also from a care delivery perspective. So that's how we are trying to figure out every day you wake up and you see something new in AI and you're like, yeah, maybe we should do that. But we're trying to figure it out and take it one thing at a time, how to deploy it responsibly. And then our clients are also asking, what are you doing next with AI? So the challenge here is how to explain to them that not everything bright and shiny in AI can be valuable immediately to bring in a clinical solution. You have to do it responsibly. So I think that's where the thing is. And when you see a lot of solutions in the market are very AI heavy or very AI forward, and then how do you contrast and compare and show that in front of the client?
Mm-hmm. Would like to hear a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your professional background and what were you doing and what led you to Simple Therapy?
Well, I'm an engineer by profession. Grew up in India, moved to States in 2008-ish or something, and always been a technology geek. And my strength is I always say, to our team members, everybody has a superpower. And my superpower is that I can take ideas to execution. So help build Massachusetts Health Exchange, help build Department of Corrections, New York jail management system, help build property preservation business for Fannie Freddie Mac. So I have a lot of knowledge and understanding of how to build enterprise grade solutions. And I actually met my 2 co-founders, 2 orthopedic surgeons back in Philadelphia through common acquaintances. And that's where we started discussing about, their struggles of trying to become an orthopedic surgeon. And they were in their residency at that time. And then that's where this idea came about. Like, I wish if we could help patients not go through surgery. Like I said a little bit earlier, right? The patients were asking for it. So I said, how about we write an algorithm and a solution which could mimic the thought process of a clinician? And that's how it started. So the idea was just to provide a solution to the clinicians. And I wrote the first version of the algorithm for knee pain, and we took it to their chief of residency. And he said, this is great. Let's pressure test it. And long behold, we were running the first clinical trial. And then we accidentally proved the efficacy of our system, which led us to actually start the company. So we came out of research, we came out of need. not necessarily started the company to build a tech company, and so one thing led to the other, and that's where we are at.
It's interesting because one of the ways that orthopedic surgeons make money is by operating. So they are displacing their revenue.
Yeah, I get this a lot. And honestly, I've been blessed to be around orthopedic surgeons who think a little bit differently. Believe it or not, our entire investor base is orthopedic surgeons. We haven't raised any institutional money and we are fully bootstrapped. And this is primarily the reason because our heart and our mind is very much aligned with we actually want to make a difference in the delivery of care. Genuinely, we want to make an impact in this space. And Nick Gay and Taewon Kim, Dr. Taewon Kim, both are very different thought process. Even our investors, they continue to encourage us on going down this path and make actually a difference.
When you think of the sheer size of this market, I mean, I presume you have a lot of room to run. How do you foresee the company growing in the next 3 to 5 years?
Market is massive. I mean, we started as the first one, and so many entrants. I think few companies have gone public, few companies have raised hundreds of millions of dollars. And I heard somebody say, I can't remember who, but the early winners in the space are not going to be the long-term winners in the space. And I truly believe that still. Because with AI, a lot of things are changing. So going back to the point, where do we see ourselves growing? We have established a strong clinical base. We have a very strong technology base. And we have very strong clinical data as well now. So what we are now moving towards is taking the platform not just from an omnichannel care delivery platform, but to more of a prediction platform as well, right? With the computer vision in real time, we are now able to predict while you're working. Like if I move the camera in front of you and while you're doing squats or you're lifting the box, I can literally tell you what is the likelihood that you'll get a back pain. That is amazing. That is the future. Like the future is already here. So taking that, so that's one pillar where we are impacting the care on the health and benefit side. The second part is the risk side that I explained also. The third part is the human performance itself. We have the physical data. So how can we elevate the human performance itself, whether it's athletics, whether it's sports related or work and life related? So those are the three angles that we are now actively pushing the company forward, where we are becoming more of a human performance company and taking it forward, where healthcare happens to be a biggest impact category that we are able to produce, but also on the sports side of things as well. We also have another product called ProPlay AI, where we are actually able to improve the performance of athletes in Major League Baseball and other teams as well, where they're actually using our computer vision tech to detect the injuries, to predict the injuries, and also improve their form and function, where they can increase their pitching speed.
Excellent. Switching gears for a little bit, we always like to touch on the company itself and how it's run and what the culture is like. Do you have a certain leadership philosophy that you operate by to create a certain kind of culture at the company?
That's a very interesting question, and I don't know how to explain this, but I'll try my best. Firstly, I've been blessed with a very strong team. Our foundation was led by orthopedic surgeons and myself, and we are egoless, more about transparency. So our entire team is very transparent. One thing is that the hierarchy doesn't define what you're capable of delivering. So if you are capable of delivering a solution, you'll immediately get the responsibility of it. And sometimes it feels like, well, I came up with the idea, now you're telling me to execute it. I'm like, yes, that is the reason. And so the hierarchy really doesn't matter in our organization. The other part is that you lead with example. So even when I come up with solutions, I'll tell the team, let me show you how it's done. And then they start feeling the bit. So we don't really judge people either by their educational background or by their experience. If you're able to execute, more power to you. We'll stand behind you. And if you fail, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. The freedom of failure is absolutely there in our organization. Just make sure that don't execute the same failure again. My partner, Jeremy, he has been a great force in our board. They have been extremely supportive in establishing a very strong culture in our organization.
We're coming up on time. I have two final questions. One is, can you tell us about a person who has had a profound influence on you?
Oh, that's a big one. There's so many people. One is an old mentor of mine, This was back in 2008, 2010, when I was just starting this company. I won't be able to share his name though, but he gave me a lot of confidence in going ahead and jumping into a startup. He said, I was afraid of doing it, to be perfectly honest. And he said, I've seen you execute big projects and just believe in yourself and execute it. And he showed me the work that I had done and the impact that it had produced. I had no idea the impact that it had produced. And so that gave me the confidence to move forward. And then the other one is Dr. Taewon Kim, who is also my co-founder and been with our team, and then Jeremy Oswald, who's the president. These two people have had profound impact because they continue to support the company and provide me the right guidance when it's needed and the confidence that it's needed.
Excellent. Last question. Can you tell us about a charity, cause, or other endeavor that you're passionate about?
Yeah, so there is this charity that I actively participate in. It's called Nanni Kali. It's based out of India. And it's specifically supporting the education for underprivileged female child.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of kids in that hierarchy of the society, especially female child, doesn't get the ability to go to a school. So I actively fund that project every year so that I sponsor at least 20 to 30 girl child's education every year for the whole year. And so that they're able to go to school, it covers their education, their uniforms, it's their books, everything. And I'm really passionate about that because when a girl child gets educated, the whole family gets uplifted and people come out of poverty.
Wonderful. Arpit, I want to thank you again for taking the time. It's been a great conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity.